Welcome to the debate. I hate to break it to you, but those assets you're frantically guarding, your 401k, your status, your legacy, they aren't wealth. They're essentially just pending liabilities.
That is a terrifying way to open a conversation. You're talking about the prison planet theory. But wait, hold on. If I spend a lifetime building a future for my family, scraping by to save every penny, how is that a liability?
Because you are optimizing for a system that is well designed to be formatted. Today, we are analyzing the Earth as a prison planet theory. This narrative, which largely derives from the Roswell alien interview transcripts, claims humanity is trapped in a reincarnation cycle controlled by extraterrestrial entities. My position is that this entire theory is a psychological bug, a kind of defense mechanism allowing humans to outsource responsibility for their own systemic failures, like war and poverty, to external jailers rather than debugging their own behavior.
You call it a bug. I call it the only explanation that validates the crushing weight so many people feel. We're discussing the concept of ISBES. It's short for immortal spiritual beings. The theory argues that we are these infinite entities locked inside biological shells, given amnesia and forced to labor. People resonate with this not because they're lazy, but because they feel trapped. And functionally, if you look at the human condition, we are trapped.
I don't deny the feeling, but let's examine the logic of this alleged trap. The theory posits that Earth is a dumping ground, or say a school, for non-compliant souls, correct? Yet the core mechanism is the memory wipe that happens before reincarnation.
Right, the electric shock therapy that erases us before we're sent back. That's the cruelty of the prison.
It is not cruelty. It is logically incoherent system design. If this is a school or even a prison intended for rehabilitation, wiping the hard drive upon reboot makes the process completely useless. You cannot learn a lesson if you delete the data after every single session. It isn't a divine test, it's just administrative incompetence. If the domain, these alien overseers, were truly advanced, they wouldn't design a loop that prevents the very data accumulation they supposedly require.
You're approaching this like a computer programmer. But you need to look at it like a dramatist. Maybe efficiency isn't the goal. I mean, if you strip away memory, every struggle feels new. Every heartbreak is fresh. The ISB isn't here to learn. It's here to experience the friction, the struggle, living in the dark without answers. That is the point of the confinement.
Friction generates heat, not progress. And speaking of friction, we have to address the technology paradox. This theory hinges on the 1947 Roswell timeline. The claim, of course, is that the U.S. military recovered extraterrestrial over-technology, anti-gravity, zero-point energy, over 70 years ago.
Exactly. And look where we are, still burning dead dinosaurs for fuel.
That is my point. If the United States possessed physics-breaking capabilities for 7 decades, the global economy wouldn't still be running on combustion engines.
You argue they're hiding it to maintain control. I would argue a much simpler conclusion. There is no tech. If the military had those assets, they wouldn't be struggling with logistics in modern conflicts. The alien tech narrative is likely just a military bluff, information warfare designed to generate a calculation error in the minds of adversaries like Russia or China. It's a ghost story to make them hesitate. But you're dismissing the cultural impact, though. You call it a bluff, but look at the millions of people consuming this content. They are digging for truth because the official narrative just feels so empty.
I don't see a search for truth. I see a fear ATM. This specific genre of conspiracy content creates a very lucrative loop. It requires zero stock speculation is free and zero quality control because it's completely unverifiable. Yet it yields high returns in attention by hacking the human amygdala. It extracts value from anxiety.
That's too reductive. You can't just dismiss a spiritual search as an economy.
I can, because the mechanic is identical to the pet influencer economy. In that sector, humans extract engagement from the cute response in the brain using a cat as the tool. Here, creators extract engagement from the fear response using aliens as the tool. The subject, the alien, or the cat is irrelevant. They are just the interface for the transaction. The creators are mining your existential dread for ad revenue.
You strip away the mystery and leave us with nothing but mechanics. But maybe that's why we cling to the Prison Planet story. Because the alternative you're describing, that we are just biological machines alone in a broken economic system, that is too painful to bear. We need the ISB narrative. We need the aliens to be real. Because if they aren't, there is no grand villain. There's just us and the mess we made.
Discussion terminated. Isolating the bug.